Well, court packing. We're hearing a lot about court packing, and nobody can seem to figure out whether Joe Biden is actually serious about packing the Supreme Court or whether this is just kind of a bone he's throwing to his base. Former President Trump has something he'd like everyone to hear about it. This is what he had to say. Quote, "Now, there is a very good chance they will be diluted and moved throughout the court system so they can see how the lower courts work, with many new justices added to the court, far more than has been reported. There is also a good chance they will be term limited. Our politically correct Supreme Court will get what they deserve, an unconstitutionally elected group of radical left Democrats who are destroying our country." And what does he mean by destroying our country? Well, I want you to consider this. You realize that we have the First Amendment, right? The First Amendment is pretty much really forward about the fact you can't limit in any way, the government cannot limit in any way religious gatherings. Well, that's weird because I remember last year they arrested a pastor in Florida for having church. I know in California throughout this time they've been limiting how people can worship God. Okay, well, we're supposed to celebrate this. The Supreme Court gave us a win. Quote, "In response to recent judicial rulings, effective immediately, location and capacity limits on places of worship are not mandatory, but are strongly recommended. The linked guidance is in the process of being updated. All other restrictions in the guidance remain in place." Well, what? Are we supposed to celebrate that today? Look, I'll take it over what we had, but you know all these decisions were 5-4, right? And this is why, and look, I struggle with this too. This is why all I can do is that sometimes when I hear people bring up the Constitution to me. What does it mean if half the country doesn't acknowledge it at all? 5-4? The First Amendment could not be more black and white. It's right there. You cannot stop people from gathering for their religion. It didn't say unless there's coronavirus. It didn't. It's right there. But they did it. And they did it for a year. And finally, the Supreme Court steps in, and we were one vote away. One vote away with the High Court of the land deciding, oh yeah, government can absolutely limit whether or not you can go to church. That's way too close. So, do we still have a Constitution? Do we? And that hurts me because I know you have your pocket Constitution. Believe me, I've read it a million times myself. Wonderful document. But if only half the country even acknowledges it, if that, do we still actually have one? I'm not so sure we do. Hey, thanks so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. You heard me. Like it, subscribe. You'll get a lot more of it and a lot more of me. Thanks.